In this video, I'm going to teach you how to solve the Square-1. So while I scramble this, I'm just going to kind of show you how it works, just in case you're not too sure about it. So you turn it. There's only two ways to turn it, and we'll call this the equator, this middle row here. So we have a top, a bottom, and usually how you want to hold the Square-1 is with the little block on the left, and then the bigger rectangle in the back. That way you can turn it like this. Now, if you turn it like this and it's not going, it's because you don't have it completely lined up. You need a line going all the way through. Like this isn't going to work either because here's the line that it's on and it stops at this corner. This will work because it's a full line. So here I can turn it. Also, one more thing is when you turn it, when you have it at a cube and you turn it like this, notice how it gets out of a cube. How you keep it, you can maintain it in a cube, is you misalign the top or the bottom once, like this. Then you turn it and it's good. And then you can do that with the bottom as well, and there it's still square. So the very first step is the most intuitive step and the step that I can't really teach you the most because it's mostly intuitive. And there's so many cases. So what we want to do is get all of the edges on one side, like this. So first we're going to start by finding groups. So here's 3 edges in a row. Here's 1, here's 3 more, and then another one. So first we should try and get as many together as possible. So here we can't turn the axis right here to get all 3 up because if we try to get it up there, it doesn't work. So we'll have to get these 2 up there. So we'll put them together where it lines up with these 2 right next to each other. And it won't work here, but it can work here, so we'll just go like that. So there we have 4 together, and now we can put 2 more up there, like this. And then here we can put the last 2 up there, like this. So this is what we're trying to do. Now that's a very easy example, but let me show you when you have harder stuff. So if you have 2 across from each other like this, and you're trying to get one up, but it's like you can't really do it because when you try and match one up, they're across from each other. What you're actually going to do is put them like this across from each other and then start moving them up. That way they go on opposite sides and then they're in. So I'm going to go through it one more time. So here we have 2. We're just going to start putting the ones groups together. So here's 2 together. So we will find another group. So here's another group and we'll line it up so we can move it up. But it won't go up because this is not a full line, so we can just put it right here for now, like that. And now we have these 2, and then we'll put, we can only put 1 up there, and we can put this one up there actually. So we'll put that up there, and then next we have, now we can do these 2, so that'll work. And then here is probably the worst scenarios where you have these 2 next to each other, but there's just a corner in the way. And I'm calling these corners and the little pieces edges because that's technically what they are. But yeah, so this is not a good case. And you're gonna have to play around with it a little bit until you can solve it because it's pretty intuitive, but yeah. So yeah, you just gotta keep playing around with it until you can get all 8 up there. So the next step now, it gets less intuitive. So the next step is we're gonna be breaking these up, so it turns the whole thing into a cube. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna get we have 8 edges here, and we want to get 4 on one side and 4 on one side of this slice right here. So here's 4, and then right here we're just gonna slice. Next, we're gonna split them in half again. So we're gonna get these 4 on the front, like this, and then these 4 that are in the bottom, like this, and then we're gonna slice that. Next, we're gonna basically do the same thing but a little bit differently. So we're gonna cut it symmetrically like this, and then cut this. It's the same shape on both sides, but we're gonna cut this side symmetrically the other way. And then that will give you this shape on both sides, and then we're gonna put like the 2 edges that are connected both in the back, and then we're gonna slice, and now you have a square. This part is the only part that's making it not a square. Just don't worry about that right now. We'll fix that at the very end because it's extremely easy to fix. So the next step is to get all of the corners with the right colors. So here we have 3 whites and 1 yellow, and 3 yellows and 1 white. We want all yellow, all white, or all yellow, all white. So first we're gonna find, if we have like a block like this, we're gonna see which color this is, and this is yellow. So we're gonna get the yellow. We need to misalign it once so it stays in a cube. Then we're gonna put the yellow here. If it wasn't already there, we're gonna put it here. That way when we slice down, it puts them together like this. And then we can move it back up, and that makes those. Next, if you have something like this, where you have 2 down here and then 2 here, just solve these 2 real quick. So how you can do this is push this down, and then since we want them next to each other like this, if we bring this one back up, it's going to come here, so we're going to put this here. That way when we move this back up, it's next to each other. And then we can put it down there. So yeah, this is also pretty intuitive. So yeah, solving the corners to get all one color is pretty easy. Next are solving the edges, and this you're going to have to use algorithms. So there are lots of cases for solving the edges. So we're trying to get all the white edges with the white corners, all the yellow edges with the yellow corners. And so we're going to use 2 algorithms. One is really easy, one is pretty easy but a little bit harder, a little longer. But we're going to use the most start with this case. And how you solve this is you just get 2 right here like this across from each other like that, and then 2 right here like that. And then you're going to do this algorithm. So misalign once, then you're going to slice, then fix this, and then misalign the bottom like this, and then slice. So that's the first algorithm. And now once you do that, if you get this case, so these cases just lead into other cases. So I'm just going to go one by one how to just go down the line. So now this one, we're going to put, if you have one misaligned and then one edge down here, you need to swap. You're going to put it on the front here and then on the left down here. Then you're going to do that algorithm I just showed you, the first one. Like that. Next, if you get these 2 across from each other and then these 2 next to each other, you're going to put these in the bottom left, just how it is, or top left I mean, and then across from each other like this. And then this is the second algorithm. So slice, it's not a cube, which is okay, so this is the algorithm. Then you're going to turn this like this, so we're cutting it the other way, like this. Then you're going to move it back to the where it originally was right here, and then you're going to move this like this. So it's like this, and then you're going to slice, and then you move this back like this, and then slice. And then once you have 2 like this swapped, and then 2 like this swapped, put the top in the bottom right, and then the bottom in the top right like this. So they're here and here, and then you're going to do that same algorithm. So slice, 1 line, 2, 3, slice, back 1, 2, 3, and then 3 this way, 1, 2, 3, slice, and then back 1, 2, 3, slice. And then once you get this case, this is the easiest case, it's just the first algorithm. So you're going to put it like this, and then you go like this. And there you go. And then there was one final case where you have all the edges and the wrong edges, like all 4 need to swap with all 4. This is pretty rare, but it's very easy. It's just that first case, or the very easiest case that I showed you, just twice. So do the algorithm from anywhere, the first one, and then now you have this case, and then you can solve it. There we go. Now from here we have to check if we have parity, because on Square-1 you can have parity. So what you're going to do is you're going to look and see if you can recognize the PLL. If it is possible on the 3x3, then it's good. If you can't, then it's bad. And this is not a PLL on the 3x3, so this is that. So now we're going to look at the bottom, and this also is not a this is not possible on a 3x3, so this is also bad. So if you have two goods, then no parity. If you have two bads, it cancels out and no parity. But if you have one good and one bad, then you have parity. So if this side is good and this side is bad, here's what you do if you have parity. You're going to slice like this, and then you're going to move it over this way, and then you're going to do the opposite with this way. So it should point that way and that way. Then slice. Then you're going to turn this once like this, and then same thing here like this, and then slice. Next you're going to move this over. That way you preserve these four edges, and same thing with here. So that way when you slice, you're not ruining those or those. So now slice, and then undo those moves that you started with. So come right here. So then put them like this, and then slice, and then start solving it back, just like the first step. So once you fix parity, and if you had it, and then you have all white and all yellow, what you're going to do now is you're going to orient the corners. So you're first going to see if there are two adjacent colors that are the same. So no, no, yes, and no. So we have one here. Then if we look on the bottom, no, 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 yes. So if you have one good pair on one on top and one on bottom, you're going to put them in the front, and then you're going to go like this. Misalign the top, and then you're going to go like slice, and then you're going to go like this. That way when you slice back, it cuts this in half like that, and then you move this back. Then you're going to basically just redo it on the bottom. So now you're going to move this over, and then bring this down. That way it connects, and then you can bring it back up to solve it. And there you go. So now they should be all good. So, okay, so if you don't have one on top and one on bottom, what you're going to do is, if you have any, if you're either going to have one next to each other, or 0 or 4. Here we have 0, so it doesn't matter how we put this. And then here we have 4, so it doesn't matter how we put this. But if you had 1 here and like 0 here, the first thing to do is put all the good solved ones on the left. Then you're going to do that algorithm, and then that leads to having 1 on each side. So for example, it doesn't really matter where I put these, since either way it's going to be unsolved on here, and then either way it's always going to be the same because they're all next to each other. So do that algorithm, and then here we have 1 solved on the bottom, and then 1 good one on the top, and then put them in the front. And then this is the last one. Last time you have to do the algorithm until it solves. So there we go. Now we have all the corners fixed. Next, we're gonna do the edges. So this next algorithm is gonna swap these 2 edges and these 2 edges. But first, we're gonna start on the bottom. So first, we want to solve them so they swap. So here we're trying to make like bars. So here's a bar. Next we want to make a bar either on this side or this side, not across from it, but right next to it. So either solve a blue one or this green one. And here we can solve the blue one. We can't solve the green one because it only swaps these 2, and this one needs to go all the way over there. So we can swap these 2 though, and we're going to put them right here, and then do this algorithm. It is misalign, and then slice, a full D turn on the bottom, slice, align the top, misalign the bottom, slice, and then almost a full D move, just fix it like that, and then misalign the top and slice. So there we go. Now for the bottom layer we have the red bar and the blue bar. Now all we have to do is swap these 2, so do that algorithm again. And there we go. Now the bottom should be completely solved. So now we're just going to do it to the top, but put the ones we need to swap right here. So in this case, we have these 2 we need to swap and these 2. So we're going to solve it, but it's going to swap these 2. But as long as we don't touch the bottom and we keep swapping until we solve the top, this will also be solved. But if it doesn't work out like that, then that means you have parity. So if you had these two swapped, and if these two were in the right places, these weren't swapped, and you only had two swapped, that means you have parity, and you have to do that algorithm I showed you before to fix parity. So once you fix parity, if you haven't already, then you are going to swap these two because they need to go in each other's spots. So do that algorithm. And then put these two right here so we can do the algorithm again. And again, it ruined this, but since we're going to do this again, it's going to fix these. So do the algorithm. And there we go. So now if this is not already solved, how you solve this is you're going to go like this. You're going to move the top like this, move this over, the top twice, up, top twice, up, top twice, and there we go. So Square-1 is pretty complicated, and if you don't know already, you should probably learn the 3x3, only because it'll help you understand how the pieces are moving a little bit better. But if you don't know the 3x3, that's okay. It just will make it a little bit easier. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.